Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and if you're new here and want to amplify your self-awareness, start right now by hitting that subscribe and the bell so you don't miss a thing. So let's get started. What are we talking about today? 3 ways on how to change your self-image. Basically, right now, whatever it is that you're doing in your life, wherever you are in life, your entire world is ruled by your self-image. What is a self-image? It's how you see yourself. Now, to put it really simple and throw in a scientific word, we all have a cybernetic mechanism. What is that? It is how you see yourself. It is an image of you have of yourself inside, and that has been curated and shaped by all past experience, whether they be positive or whether they be negative. So think about that. Everything that's happened in your life, specifically from the ages of the last trimester of your biological mom, way back, all the way up until you're about 7 years old. Why that time period? Because you're in what is called theta brainwave. Theta brainwave is something that you and I and everyone on earth experiences right before we go to bed or right when we're waking. It's kind of that twilight state. And the reason that's a very important state is it's the state and the language of your subconscious. So that's our access points. Now, if you back up what we were talking about just a second ago, when you're in that state from the last trimester of your biological mom to 7 years old, that is all your brain is doing at that point. It is just absorbing. It is in subconscious program mania, and everything you're seeing, all the interaction that you're receiving, all the things you're being told at that time, it's fortifying who you are and how you see life can be. So a lot of people are raised a hell of a lot of different ways. So if you're okay with continuing on with the beliefs and everything that you had when you were under 7 years old, all power to you. Go ahead and X out of this video. However, if there are things in your life, if somebody was mean to you, if somebody showed you different things that were not positive and you do not want to continue, you'll want to watch the rest of this video to understand the mechanics of it and how to eradicate it in your life so that you can experience what you want and you wish to prefer in this life. So like I said, a cybernetic mechanism, that is the major component, the heavy hitter in this situation. As you're able to change that, you will change every part of your life. If you want to lose weight and you change how you see yourself, your cybernetic mechanism, whether it be right now you're at 20+% body fat and you want to be 10%, if you in your cybernetic mechanism see yourself as somebody in 10% body fat, your actions, your behavior, your habits will shift to reflect it. And what is it? This most simple way that's common to everybody is a thermostat in your house, whether it be warm outside or cold outside. You set your thermostat and it makes sure that that inner environment is controlled, right? It won't go above or below a certain amount. So if it's at 70, it won't go above 73, right? It's going to kick on so that it goes back to 70. If it goes too low, it's going to kick on so it goes back to 70. That is what's happening in your life. Think about it. Somebody you know, yourself, maybe it's getting money. Maybe it's being in a healthy relationship. You'll get to a point, and maybe you see somebody, maybe you've done it, you're going to lose weight, you're going to get this job, you're going to build this financial future. And you get to a certain point and it's like all this self-sabotaging behavior starts happening. All of a sudden your motivation, it seems like you're sliding down a gravel hill. The more you're fighting and you're trying, the more you're sliding. No matter what you did before, you were in a groove and now you've completely tripped and you're falling on your face. The reason that is because inside you're saying, no, that's not safe. We don't know outside of that. We don't want to behave that. That's not us. We need to stay inside this mechanism. So it's not about working harder. It's not about you not being capable. You're just putting your energy right now and attention in the wrong things. You're looking at the effect and not the conditions that are causing the cause to produce the effect, if that makes sense. Inside of you, everything you see outside of yourself is a reflection of the internal. So if you want to change something outside of you, you have to start inside. You have to start with the conditions and the circumstances, the assumptions that you believe to be true that have formed your cybernetic concept of yourself. You change that, you'll change everything. So the first thing is going to be simple awareness. How do you see yourself right now? What do you think you're capable of? You can write this down on a list. Think about the person you are. Be really honest with yourself, because you're trying to see something that doesn't want to be seen. Your cybernetic mechanism is basically the elephant in the room. It is controlling your life, but it is somewhat hard to grasp of like, what exactly is it? And one way to do this would be, okay, what would someone need to believe about themselves? What would someone need to think about themselves in order for this to be produced in their life? So if it's a body image thing for you, if it's a relationship thing, if it's a career thing, what is it? And what would somebody need to think about themselves in order to get that, in order for that to be in their cybernetic mechanism, in their set point? This is a great way for you to dive in and understand and kind of see what is camouflaged, see what is hidden. Now, this is a very simple thing to do. That doesn't make it easy. However, it does make it incredibly important and beneficial to you in the implications and amplitude it can have in your life. And a huge one, as you are seeing who you really see yourself to be, because you can go on and say, oh, I'm a good person, I'm a hard worker, I really want these things, I really value them. But if you continue to have behavior that's not reflecting that value isn't really true. You're not really being true to yourself on what you really believe. So no one else has to see this paper, but write it down as honest as you can. Do you believe that you're worth getting that money? Do you really believe that you deserve love? Do you really believe that you're capable of being proud of your body? There's something inside of you that is interfering to get into that new cybernetic mechanism. So once you start seeing this, realize that you were part of the reason that you got here, whether it be an epigenetic thing, whether it be when you were little, you witnessed these things and that really formed a major part of your cybernetic mechanism. You have given consent to be here. Now realize you have had an ability to respond. So you're going to take the responsibility of that. And when you do that, you then now have an ability to respond differently. Only when you take the responsibility that you have an ability to respond, that in the past you could have responded differently, can you really give yourself the power that you now can respond in a new way. Now, the second thing that's a little bit more fun than that first one, that can, definitely get a little bit more into your shadows, is to dream while you're awake, dream while you're walking around. I want you to really think about what it would feel like. Think about who you would be in life if you did have that new cybernetic mechanism. How would you physiologically, how would you walk in the world? How would you carry yourself? If someone cuts you off on the road, how would you respond? Because it's not going to be the same level of desperation or frustration or stress or urgency that somebody who is struggling will have. Maybe you have more compassion. Maybe you have more kindness. Maybe you're more upbeat. Maybe you're a little bit more casual. You have a little bit more time. Whatever it is, I want you to completely pretend it's a character you're going to play for 10 minutes a day, if that helps. But your every action, every thought, how you physically portray yourself in the world, it's all going to echo you dreaming while you're awake. Essentially, that's all you're going to do as you change your life. Those dreams, you're going to shift into while you're being awake. That's it. If you can imagine it, it can happen in the world. The only thing that stops you from that is not doing the work to get into that cybernetic mechanism to allow that dream to come in, those experiences to come into your life. And also any sort of permission you're giving those barriers. So the huge thing about step 2, which is to dream while you're awake, is to feel this. You are it now. And again, if you have to give yourself permission by saying, this is a character I'm going to play, set a timer and really commit to it. Try to go for an Emmy Award or, an Oscar in this, because this is important. How in the world are you going to move in the world like this when you've never practiced it? How are you going to know when an opportunity would align with that version of you if you've never tried it out? You won't. You'll only recognize what consciousness level you're at. So one of the things too about your cybernetic mechanism is there's patterns all in the world. Well, you will only be able to perceive those patterns at the consciousness level you're at. So the new version of you, that shift in cybernetic mechanism, that, very confident, that fit person, they're going to perceive that same pattern differently. So realize that, go into the world and try to see things differently. Be that person. You will not see the world the same as you're seeing it now. And the third way that's going to help change your self-image is going to be to use your brain waves. How do you do that? Well, you do that by realizing that right now we're in beta brainwave, right? You're alert, you're active in really stressful situations, whether you're in traffic, you're running late, you're going to get into high beta, which is going to be really chaotic. You're not going to be able to think very well. When you're watching TV, maybe during meditation or getting massage or something like that, you're going to be in alpha. It's relaxed, more calm. Now, right before you go to bed, it's called Twilight, you're going to shift into theta. And like I mentioned at the first part of this video, that is the gateway, that is the language of the subconscious. So you're going to have access to the subconscious twice a day, right before you go to sleep, as you're drifting in Twilight. So you kind of are awake, but you're kind of asleep. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you've experienced this, and especially when you're waking up. You're like, am I awake? I'm awake, but then you try to go and do stuff, and it's maybe you're just like knocking things over, right? You're in Twilight. Your brain's not quite there yet. These are the two most powerful times to reprogram your subconscious, to reprogram, to put in that cybernetic mechanism, that which you wish to prefer. So feel who it is you want to be. Feel that experience you want in life, that self-image. How would it feel? Who would you be? Embody it, take it into your body and feel that as you're falling asleep. And as best you can do as you're waking up, grab hold of it again and feel it. That's going to set the pace. For one, as you're going to sleep, all the dreams, which is a subconscious way of interpreting things, trying to give you information through symbols and some wacky stuff sometimes in dreams. But as you're waking up, that's going to set the tone for the day. If you're already starting to practice how you want to be that day, you're going to stay connected. And your goal is to try to stretch those 2 points from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, staying in that feeling state, embodying this new self-image. You can do it. There's so many people in the world that have changed their self-image, self-concept. That's it. They assume new beliefs. They accept those to be true. They start looking for those things in the world, and this shifts the cybernetic mechanism. You then can be and experience an entire new realm. Since your consciousness level is higher, that which will reflect back to you in this 3D world will be completely different from what you experienced before. I really hope this video has helped. If so, hit the subscribe, hit the like. It's really going to help share this information with other people, something with the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you on the next one.